Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is giggle. Now, this verb really just has one usage or one meaning, and that is to laugh lightly. And that laugh might be done in either kind of a nervous manner or perhaps even a bit of a silly manner or way. So it's very similar to laugh again, but I would think a little softer or lighter when I think of this particular verb. Giggle is a regular verb. To make the progressive tense, we're going to drop the E on the ending before we add ing to form giggling. The past tense and participle forms of this verb end in ed, but because this verb already has an e on the end, we're just having one. Our base verb here, giggle, ends in a voiced L sound, so our past tense ending is going to make a D sound. Giggled, giggled. Now, one phrasal verb that you might hear is giggle at. And the meaning here isn't greatly different than the one we just talked about. So here we're making that sort of short or small or softer laugh, and that's being caused by either someone or something. An example of this might be the baby giggled at her mother's silly faces, right? So you can imagine someone doing something funny to make or cause the baby to uh, make these short little laughs. Let's continue practicing our verb of the day in a couple different verb tenses. Today we're going to practice the present perfect progressive. And some people will know this as the present perfect continuous. Same idea or same meaning here. I like to use present perfect progressive because three P's help me remember that I need three parts to make the affirmative. So I have to pay attention to what my subject is. If my subject is I, you, we, or they, my first part is going to be have. But if my subject is he, she, or it, then my first part of the present perfect progressive is going to be has. Okay, so part one, have or has, and then we're going to follow the same pattern. The second part is been, B-E-E-N, and our third part is that progressive form of the verb or the ing form of the verb. You can see that in the example sentence, the news anchor has been giggling all morning at various stories. So this particular verb tense is noting an action that has started in the past and continues into the present. If you want to make a negative present perfect progressive sentence, just insert not after have or has, and then we'll follow that same pattern, been and our ing form of the verb. You could see that in the example, he hasn't been giggling at anything since the accident, right? So here, maybe someone is a bit too sad or perhaps in too much pain. Right? We don't know exactly from this sentence, but no short laughs for this particular person. If I want to ask a yes or no question in the present perfect progressive, I'm going to start with have or has, whichever form matches my subject. The subject comes next, and then we have been, and then we have our ing form of the verb. You can see that in the example. Have you been giggling throughout the entire movie? Right? Now let's take a look at the simple future. Today we're going to focus on using be going to. Sometimes we use this to talk about our plans for the future or to make predictions. And the key thing we need to remember here is that we do need to pay attention to our subject because that's going to change our form of be. Right? So if my subject is I'm going to use am. If my subject is you, we, or they, I'm going to use are. And if my subject is he, she, or it, I'm going to use is. And then after that, again, we'll have the same pattern here. So form of be, then going to, and then the base verb. Okay? So we're not adding any extra endings to the verb with the simple future. So, an example of an affirmative sentence might be, no one is going to giggle at you, right? So here, maybe someone is making a prediction, and that's why they're choosing to use this form. If you want to make a negative simple future sentence using be going to, just insert not after our be verb. You might hear some people combine is not into the contraction isn't, or the words are not into the contraction aren't, but there isn't a contraction form with am not. So those will remain separate. Here's an example of a negative simple future sentence. The audience isn't going to giggle at you. Okay, so here, our first two examples really are conveying kind of that same idea. Um, no one is sort of a negative subject here. Um, and now we know there's a group of people here, maybe watching someone perform or present. And again, we're making this prediction that this person isn't going to be laughed at. If you want to make a yes or no question in the simple future, again, start with your form of be, whichever form matches your subject. Subject comes next, then going to and our base verb. An example of this: am I going to giggle when I read this story? Right? So maybe someone has shared something with me, and I'm again asking them to make a prediction about how I'm going to react. Now, let's take a moment to look at some words in a phrase that are related to our verb giggle. The first word we're going to look at has the exact same spelling and the exact same pronunciation. It's just the noun form of this word. The noun giggle could be used to refer to a light or silly laugh. An example of this might be, if you need a giggle, you should watch this video I recorded, right? So maybe I'm sharing something on my phone with someone else, right? Now, the noun giggle sometimes will be used to refer to continuous and uncontrollable laughter or giggling. With this particular usage, we're always going to use the article the, and then we're going to use the plural form of the noun. So let's look at an example. The children have had the giggles all morning, right? So this is this idea. They, again, notice the, and then our noun here is plural. They have been continually laughing, and it seems like they aren't able to control um, this this feeling. Or the next word we're going to look at is the adjective giggly. This means having a tendency to laugh in either an excited, nervous, or silly way. An example here might be, the photo captures an adorable giggly hug between the brothers. Right? So you might be able to tell they're smiling, they're laughing as they embrace in this particular photo. The last phrase we're going to look at today is for giggles. You might hear this used, and really it just means for the purpose or for the sake of fun, excitement, or distraction. An example of this might be, don't waste your money just for giggles, right? Just for fun. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day.